Hello and welcome to the Morningscape podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell. We're here to go through the Thursday, January 8th NHL Daily Fantasy Slate. Very important update. Today is my cat's birthday, so happy birthday, Samson. All right, let's get into it.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
Well, DJ, I don't know if you had these narratives on your list, but yes, my cat's birthday. Figure out what to do with that one.
I'm rewriting every last bit of my preview right now as we speak, because that just changed everything. Slate's flipped on its head before 9-17 on the night before. Congratulations. The Slappy done it again.
We did do it. That is correct. We have 12 games on Thursday. Tuesday was pretty shit. I feel like more of the same. Where I think I got both the guaranteed goals right. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nope. Still lose because that's life.
Yep.
How'd you do?
I lost. Monday went well. Tuesday went horrifically. What are you gonna do? Try.
Lose again on Thursday, I think. Shout out to Woo Wee. I like kitties. Shout out Samson. It's spelled like Sam Reinhardt's name. There's no P in it. A lot of people have done it now. I feel bad because I don't want to be like, oh, like fuck you, but it's Samson, just no P in there. So, anyway, shout out to you. $2 to the fund where I do not think we figured out what happens to that money yet. So don't want that to dissuade anyone, but we'll figure it out sooner than later, I think.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it seems like something that would be top of mind, but I do not think about it until we get more money in there. And then I'm like, where is that? I should probably figure that out.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, buddy. I have not corrected it until now. So many people have done that. I understand where that comes from. And then shout out to the Stoner for hanging out with us. You might be able to tell I'm battling it right now.
The problem that they're having is that they want to say your cat's name, but they know you have such a Slappy that they're putting them together. Samson and Slappy. And they're like Sam's, with a P. They're putting that hard P in there. Makes sense to me. It should be Slapson, though. Yeah, I agree.
I think it sounded better in your head, but
it did. It was a valiant effort, but nevertheless, not my best work. Speaking of not my best work, is it time to get to the Slate preview?
Oh boy, yes, let's do that. I will share screen.
Yeah, I didn't get all the way through.
Oh boy, I'm sure it won't be obvious.
The only player whose birthday it could have been on the slate with William Karlsson. I feel like I had not even thought about William Karlsson playing.
1 second, por favor. The browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen. That's a new one. We haven't had this in quite some time.
Okay. Well, there is a recent report that William Karlsson isn't even expected for the Olympics, so he's not going to be back tomorrow. Yeah, I was like, I can't even think of the last time I've thought about him being on a slate. The other two players were not playing, I don't believe at all. Unless if Seamus Casey gets called up for a revenge narrative, which is definitely not the case. Nemec. Yeah, Nemec is back, and then the other guy I can't even remember right now.
I think I need to rejoin. I may need to restart. So, tough. I don't know.
I'll get slapping. All right, perfect. So we have 12 games. I wrote down a whole bunch of revenge narrative spots because that was the only thing that actually got there. I feel like on Tuesday with every single player in a revenge game scored a goal. Very exciting for them. We start, I'm just going to go in DraftKings order with the Flames and Bruins at 7:00 in Boston. That is a Elias Lindholm revenge narrative. Not the most exciting game. Flames on a back-to-back. The Bruins are a bit scattered. Fraser Minton got a point, but not with Pasternak. Pasternak scored 2 goals. It's like that combo worked and never actually had a point in unison. Anaheim at Carolina. I couldn't think of any active players, and I just sort of gave up on this one. It is Anaheim tries to win a game revenge narrative against themselves. They have not won in going on like 20 days now. I think it's like 8 straight games they've lost. They went from this kind of Cinderella darling, a team that we were high on, but we were like, yeah, probably like flirting with the playoffs, to really, falling by the wayside. Carolina, even though they're losing players, is just continuing to smother teams. I just, not the best game environment, but the top line in Carolina seems like a decent option. We'll get to Vancouver at Detroit. Again, I just couldn't really quickly find anybody that was actively playing in the game. But Todd Bertuzzi, did he ever play for Vancouver? I can't think. I don't know for sure. There's definitely older guys I'm sure out there, but like I couldn't think of anyone quickly for revenge narrative. But Vancouver has not been great. Buffalo definitely, got like the game. If you look at the expected goals, it was very low for Buffalo, but they just scored every time every chance they got was a grade A insane opportunity that they put in the net. And once they got up 4-0, they definitely sat on it. So I don't know. Vancouver, they're taking a lot of donkey chucking. It's the decent donkey chuck spot, but I like the other side for efficiency quite a bit. So a really interesting game. Florida at Montreal. Jeff Petrie, of course, bowl with no Seth Jones. Jeff Petrie has kind of gotten in that lineup. A lot of time in Montreal. Florida really failed pretty miserably against Toronto. Brad Marchand day to day. So there's some news and notes there to keep an eye. He was pulled from the game. It kind of made it seem like it was not a major concern and hopefully won't move forward with too many problems. But I do think, Montreal in the back-to-back after Florida completely laid an egg is at least of note. The aforementioned Buffalo Sabres, who have now won 10 of their last 11, go into the New York Rangers for, oh my God, I wrote some, Connor Sheary Bowl, of course. JT Miller sounds close, but maybe not ready yet. Alexis Lafreniere has been great, but he was sick in practice, and we don't know his status for tomorrow. So some things to definitely keep an eye on for the Rangers. Adam Fox returned and now is going on long-term injured reserve. So a lot of shakeups there for the Rangers, and the Sabres will probably be about status quo after last game. Toronto versus Philadelphia in a Grbinkin Bowl. One of the media favorites goes from Toronto to Philly. The Flyers have kind of, I feel like, quietly been rolling. Maybe it's not as quiet as I think, but it kind of feels that way. They've been really good across the board, winning a ton of games. Welcome back, Matt. And just sort of this quietly scoring, like I'm saying, a lot of goals. Bobby Brink played like 1 minute last game and got hurt. There's some news and notes to get to when we go through this game. Maybe a couple changes here or there, but overall a really interesting matchup. Austin Matthews has been fantastic, and Philly is really good on the other side. The New Jersey Devils versus the Pittsburgh Penguins in will the Devils ever score another goal bowl other than scoring on their own net? It's a tough one out there. I mean, also a Cody Glass bowl if you really want a player, but it's been quite alarming how bad the Devils have been over the past. Longer stretch than probably meets the eye, but also the short period of the past 2 games have been just a nightmare. And the Penguins have been pretty good, so that'll be an interesting one to cover. The Islanders at the Nashville Predators in a game that I never got to bowl. I'm trying to think on the fly here. Matt, you have anyone that immediately comes to mind for that game?
Hold on. I'm not functioning at full capacity.
All right, so that's just
all right.
unusual.
What are we on?
Islanders, Nashville. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head quickly, so I'm just gonna keep it going here. Boring.
David Rittich.
David Rittich Bowl. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Pretty much all there is there. Now that you're back a little faster through the Final Four. Edmonton versus Winnipeg. I feel like we've seen this game like 30 times. I'm sure there's a player that played on both teams, and I'm not going to try to pretend to think of it. Connor McDavid is just on another planet. He's up to 10.3K, 10 shots on goal, hat trick, 49.5 bomb. Played him in my lineups, didn't cash. Pretty impressive stuff from me on Tuesday. We move over to Ottawa at Colorado. Yeah, there's a player here, and I didn't write it down.
I think David Perron's played for every team in the league.
Yeah, David Perron has played for every single team in the league bowl. Again, like Ottawa on a back-to-back in Colorado. Colorado, monster total. But coming off of I mean, even though McKinnon got the shot bonus, a 10.5, 2 games in a row from him is nowhere near enough. And now he gets into a pretty tough matchup in a potentially low event game. But will it with McDavid smashing it now being the same price, like what is that going to do for the two superstars?
Curtis McDermott, obviously.
There we go. Finally, someone thinking about the good players. Final 2 games. Matt, do you want to say the Seaman Bowl?
It's your Seattle hosting Minnesota. I have a line in my Excel that reads Seaman.
Congratulations to you.
The Freddie Gaudreau Bowl, of course.
Freddie Gaudreau, there he is. I mean, I don't know if we've seen the Freddie Gaudreau Bowl yet, but here we go.
I think we have, because I've definitely played him against the Wild.
I mean, Seattle's another team that I feel like has quietly won 4 in a row. And 6, 7 of their last 8, like just quietly winning every night in the most non-DFS smashing fashion possible. Minnesota also, of course, been playing really well. And finally, last but not least, Columbus versus Vegas oh man, there's got to be like someone super obvious here. But
William Karlsson's no longer.
Yeah. Happy birthday, William Karlsson, your injured bowl. But like Vegas seems like I think a really interesting pivot that I'm excited to cover. I mean,
Brandon Saad. There you go.
There you go. I don't think it'll be entirely overlooked, but like, I think we're reaching the bottom of the Jack Eichel pricing. I mean, it was cheaper last slate, I guess, in theory, but like, I'm interested in that spot. We'll get to it. There's a lot to get to. Matt's back. Things are working. I went through the slate in a lot of detail. We're 11 minutes in. Let's try to keep this to under an hour and never succeed. Are you ready to get to the first game?
I am. Let's talk about who was the first game. Calgary at Boston. Oh boy, I did not grab the prices. That's tough. That's a tough fucking start for us.
They're mainly cheap.
If you need to know Calgary prices on a back-to-back on a 12-game slate, I have a number you should call, by the way.
I also have the same number, and I call it every single day. And
they did redo their lines, so I'm not sure. I meant to check that. Well, I was going to check the power plays. Have not done that yet, so maybe while I'm doing this, you look up what their power play was in the early going of this Montreal game that I'm sure they are going to win by some.
They're down 3-1, so that doesn't seem to be going in their direction. I mean, the Flames are bad. The top line has Adam Klapka on it tonight.
That's not good, is it?
No.
I think that's actually bad.
The second line is the only line that interests me at all, the Backlund, Coronado, Coleman line. It's this kind of middling mid-tier line that it loves to score like a combined 14 points every single night and not win a slate. It's the perfect 14-point-a-night line. If you need exactly 14 points in your lineup, I have the perfect line for you.
All right. When we get there, the McDavid number is an absolute fucking jump scare. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, has he been good or no?
Yeah. I need to check my sources, but yes, I think he's quite good. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Calgary. Yeah, they're going into Boston. Boston's not been great. Boston's without Hampus Lindholm. I don't know. I don't see any reason here to go to any of these lines. Like, I think Kadri Huberdeau should be power play 1 correlated, but do you care about that? I sure don't. So, yeah, we'll check the power plays. Who gives a fuck? Let's just talk about Boston because David Pastrnak is pretty good. However, we don't know where he's going to slot in the lineup. They lost 7-4 to Seattle. The third period was a lot of Minton pasta, but it was also a lot of pasta Zaka, a lot of pasta geeky. Like there was just everyone plays with pasta every other shift. So I do not know that our favorite cheat code Fraser Minton is in the picture here. So we'll need to see. He is 2,800 if he is on a line with David Pastrnak. I do like that still. Just a quality player at a really cheap price who his roles should only, be on the upswing. It's not like we're talking about a Winnipeg fourth liner who, Nemestikov is going to ceiling at 15 minutes or whatever. It's like, no, Fraser Minton should be a top 6 player if his prospect projection goes according to plan. and I don't think Boston's going to necessarily stunt him if he's showing that. So that's the reason. It's a great matchup, home back-to-back Calgary, but just keep an eye out for lines because I do expect Pastrnak to be quite popular, and as a result, I would like to get him properly stacked in that situation.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. Like Fraser Minton continues to be too cheap, and that's the way to play it. The Flames are bad. They are also worth stacking against, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Okay. Yeah, I want to look at last game because Mason Lohrei was jumping off the screen to me.
He scored.
Yeah, that was kind of a garbage. Okay, he was technically their most used defenseman, which is a positive. McAvoy, Zadorov, 24, 23 minutes for that pair, or for that, I guess, pairing of players. The D pairs are interesting. Espiro, McAvoy, Zadorov, Yuki Haru, Lohrei Peak. Lohrei did get up to 18 minutes, so that's an option. 2,600. He's better than 15-minute Mason Lohrei, and he's currently priced like 25 or a 15-minute Mason Lohrei. And again, good matchup. A lot of donkey chuckers on the Calgary back end for him to stand in front of.
Agreed. That's I think enough for one of the worst games of the night.
Okay.
Another terrible spot.
Speaking of a jump scare, Anaheim, Leo Carlson, please report to the hockey rink. Please, anytime maybe. I bet him to get 50 points, and I think he had 40 in like 22 games or something, and I always had like 42 in 40 games. Like it's absolutely absurd the slide he's on. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm now sweating, him getting 10 points in 50 games basically, which did not see that one coming. But he is currently slotted with Kreider Terry. They played a back-to-back. Last night was a back-to-back in Philly, so we don't know practice today or anything to go off of. So we're guessing everything's bad in Anaheim, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're really stinky right now. Any interest in the Ducks heading into Carolina? Who, by the way, may be getting Jacob Slavin back.
Yeah. I mean, the 11-7 last game, like that was of note against the Flyers. The second power play, or really what really is seemingly the first power play in that game, was the only thing that clicked. I mean, there's no interest here against the Hurricanes, who are good penalty killers. They don't take a lot of penalties and should be able to control a lot of the 5-on-5 play. I just don't see a lot of upside here. And you're paying through the nose for players that are really not performing. Like everything's gone up in price to a point that I just don't think anything's a value. So I think I'm all around out. We mentioned Minchikov getting top power play, but like I said, that doesn't even, I mean, it quote unquote is, but like they're not like the other power play scored twice, and that power play came over the boards first after the first goal. Like it's pretty fragile. So I like Minchikov as a one-off, if anything. Just you hope he gets a blocks bonus and gets a point in there, but that's it.
Yep. Cutter 7,100. I don't know. Like you're saying, that is like I think that'll be the uses or power play one here. Does that matter against Carolina? Honestly, Anaheim's only in the picture if they do decide to hold out Jacob Slavin, because the underlines for Carolina are not great at the moment. So the matchup looks fine on the Anaheim perspective. But if Slavin's replacing Nystrom or Nikishin or whatever, then I think that's a different story entirely. So let's keep things moving along to the Carolina side. Carolina brought back Seth Jarvis into their lineup on Tuesday night. So Aho centered Svechnikov, Ehlers, Hall with Stankoven and Blake. Martinook, Stahl, Jarvis was the third line. They did the whole Stahl power play one, but Ehlers is really power play one thing. And what that means, Walker must not have been on the power play too. So if you like, if you like guys who get basically 75% of the power play work playing with the two best players on Carolina, well then Nick Ehlers is the guy for you. He's 5,700. Svechnikov 62, Aho 6,900. This Ducks team has been bad enough to the point where at almost any price you can stack any player against them. Like it is reaching peak crisis now in Anaheim. They have no answers. They look terrible. So I don't know. I kind of like Carolina, but it's the same age-old question of what the hell do you do? Do you go line one and spend up? Do you save on the second line? Do you play Stahl and Jarvis and just hope that the empty netter, blah blah blah? Any leans on your part?
Not a ton. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that popular, so I really would understand doing it. And the way like you're kind of talking about Anaheim, I think that is very true. I almost worry about Carolina getting pushed into shooting a little bit. Like, I don't know. I mean, they control play, but like they can get a little choosy with shooting the puck. Also, there's just something to the amount of posts they hit. Like, I like it seems like there's no way a team could hit the post as much as them. Like they have like an unbelievable amount. So it's very tilting is the point I'm trying to make. So if you just don't watch if you play Carolina because they're going to make you really mad. It's totally fine. I think that there's a lot of good spots on this slate, and this is the only one in the first two games that I'd even considering. But the next game has another spot that I'm probably higher on, so it's going to be hard for me to play Carolina, but I'm already kind of a little bit more interested in Detroit.
Oh boy. Well, we will get to Detroit in a moment. Vancouver, they rolled out new lines in practice today, and then we were immediately told to ignore them. Their lines from before were bad, so I went with these new ones
they
anyway.
went to at the end of the Sabres game, and it worked. Like I don't really. They said that like they didn't do anything, and then they went to Kane, Besser, and scored like immediately.
They got a double minor that they scored on both ends of. So
yeah, that kind of happened. They scored on the power play, and then the second wasn't on the power play, but like kind of. I see what you mean, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
Kane, all of this.
Kane, Pettersson, Besser, Ogren, Sasson, Carlson, DeBrusk, Ratu, O'Connor, Hoaglander, Kampf, Kiefer, Sherwood. God, what a hockey team this is. Tom Melander, 3K. Where did he play college hockey? Was he a Michigan guy?
Boston? I thought it was Boston.
Was he Boston? Okay.
I could be wrong. Maybe it was Michigan State?
No, he was Boston. Yep.
It was Boston. Okay, I was right the first time.
BU specifically. All right, so power plays, I'm just guessing they keep the same as last game because, again, they scored there. Jake DeBrusk no longer alongside Elias Pettersson, though, in this setup, so that's not great. Brock Besser is owed a little bit better luck than he's gotten over the last 10, 9.7 expected, 5.4 actual. But, you got to be a sick masochist to want to play Vancouver on the road on this 12-game slate. So I don't hate the idea. Detroit's definitely a walking paper tiger, and we'll get to their lineup in just a moment. That is inconceivable. But is there anything on Vancouver that you are highlighting?
I mean, Kiefer Sherwood has 8.6 shot attempts per game over the last 5. DeBrusk is 8.25. Evander Kane is always good for a bunch of donkey chucking. Like, there is DFS upside that exists here at a pretty low cost. I tend to go DeBrusk at 5K because I just think he's a much better talent than Kiefer Sherwood. Don't tell anyone I said that. They are unlucky, but they're unlucky because they're bad. Like being a bad team that's always trailing and doesn't have good goal scorers tends to lead to more players not performing to their expected. So it's a tough click. It got a little more expensive and it continues to climb. I probably won't have it, but I wouldn't call you an idiot.
Stoners keep me alive here in the chat. Get in the YouTube chat if you are so inclined. I bet you could have a lot of fun shooting the shit with our friend here. Anyway, Vancouver stuff, sure. Let's talk about Detroit here. Detroit rolled out in practice Emmett Finney, Dylan Larkin, Marco Kasper, DeBrincat, Kopp, Kane, Van Riemsdyk, Comfer, Lucas Raymond, John Leonard, Rasmussen, and Appleton. D pairs remain the same, though there's some question mark on whether Edvinson or ASP or both are on the second power play unit. And with that power play unit in mind, JVR and Lucas Raymond playing on the third line are the only fully correlated power play one guys, with Larkin and DeBrincat running their own lines at the moment. So, DJ, I suspect you have a lean based on the header of this here podcast, but do you want to talk to me about where your interest lies on the Detroit side?
Yeah, I mean, it does suck that Patrick Kane isn't probably on the first power play, but I I mean, I don't think you even have to try to overstack this. And like, you just play DeBrincat and Mo Sider, and you're fine. I mean, it's really expensive. I do have the concern that like Mo Sider at 6,400 might just be a little too much for what you're getting. But when it like, there are not that many players that have double bonus upside every single night at 6,400. I think he's just kind of coming along for the ride on Detroit for me. And I don't have a problem clicking Patrick Kane even without the power play. He's shooting. He's just not getting maybe enough run that I want to actually like 5,500 is kind of a little bit prohibited. But could you convince yourself to play JVR Raymond?
No, Lucas Raymond's 6,400. Like that's just actively bad. I'm not a huge Lucas Raymond head. Like, there was I think he's pretty similar to Brock Besser. Like I just don't think there's like that sheer like, oh, this guy's gonna put the team on his back to his game like there is a DeBrincat or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's 1,000 less, and JVR is correlated and obviously cheaper than Kane or Cop, but like I just don't see the point in all honesty. Raymond's not been good over the last little stretch anyway, so it's not like this is them trying to get the lineup spread out. Like this is just them trying to find something that works. This team built themselves a bit of a buffer, but they are not playing well right now. They are one of the worst teams over the last 10 games by expected goals. They've been getting a little bit of goaltending, but they're hemorrhaging shots for and against every night.
Yeah.
And it's not too far off of our expectations for this team, but I certainly don't want to be buying them when they're making it actively harder for us in DFS by separating their good players that score fantasy points.
Yeah. I feel like I've already convinced myself not to play Detroit, and it didn't take very long. I honestly, I had forgotten that Patrick Kane was off the first power play. I was like, I don't know why it's so difficult to conceive that like the clear line that's playing the most, but let's get a little more difficult when Patrick Kane is not the top power play, and 5,500 is just a lot. But I love DeBrincat. I love Sider. I mean, like the blocks bonus is just so in play with how much donkey chucking is going on with Vancouver right now, as I've alluded to. And I would just love to watch that efficiency, that blocks bonus, like Mo Sider go for the 35 bomb. That no one, I feel like no one, but like not many people are going to play. But
yeah, the thing that I'm really frustrated by is like the Sider DeBrincat thing was really fun for like a few weeks there, but that was because they were playing DeBrincat, Kane, Sider, Edvinsson. They were just using, or maybe it wasn't even Kane at the time, but they were just using that as like their unit, and they were saying, "Hey, Larkin, good luck with these shitheads." And now they moved apart Larkin and Raymond, but they're also sticking Larkin with Sider. And that's just not nearly as effective because Casper's been objectively terrible this year, and Finney's not very good either. So it's like they're not good. Edmondson, Sider, Larkin do not look good together. I ran through some of their 5-on-5 stuff earlier today, and they're like average, which is crazy because most Sider's rocking like 70% on everything. But it was all with the DeBrincat, in earlier in the year with Larkin specifically. So, it's just a lot of question marks. JVR is a one-off. I think that's actually the play. If you want a piece of this, just play JVR as a one-off, and odds are you're getting someone who contributes if this team scores 4 or 5.
So yeah, as you kind of mentioned just a second ago, like how good Detroit, like their record is. Like, are they first in the division? Are they still leading the Atlantic? Tampa took over. They're second. Yeah. There are 2 players in the bottom 10 for plus minus, and I know plus minus is a little bit stupid, but there's 2 players on the Red Wings in the bottom 10 in plus minus, and that's Axel Sandin Pellikka and Marco Kasper. Like these 2 guys have been pretty bad defensively whenever they're on the ice together. Marco Kasper. I mean, I don't think I've been more wrong about anything in my life than drafting that guy.
We faded Dustin Wolf last year, famously.
And that was, I mean, that's the clip, is the Dustin Wolf. Like, I could not have been more wrong about him. I was just a year early, but whatever. But Marco Kasper, wow. 6 points, minus 17, averaging 13 minutes a night. But that's the guy you got to bump up to the top line.
Of course. And obviously, Detroit's like third in the East with a -7 goal difference because everything
Nothing
makes
matters, and we're gonna die anyways. Let's move over to Florida, Montreal. Montreal just
Florida.
scored to make it 4-1.
Right.
Florida looked like absolute shit against Toronto.
Yeah, apparently
What do you
Brad
think?
Marchand's hurt. That would have been good to know. They moved him off of the top power play to begin the game, and then in the third period they just benched him. They were like, "Hey, he's hurt. We're not playing him anymore." But doesn't sound like he's coming out of the lineup, so that's a huge problem. For Higgy Bennett, Marchand is 18.8K going against a back-to-back Montreal team here, but Montreal is at home for both of these games. Is that right? So they wouldn't be flying to Florida overnight. So not a huge, back-to-back for them or anything. I can really only get myself behind, what you were talking about last slate with the Erod one-off or like a Lusterine and Lindell Reinhardt stack, which, by the way, with Lindell taking over the top power play from Marchand, again, would have been nice to know. I mean, it wouldn't have saved me at all because they sucked, but I surely would have played Lindell in my Reinhardt Lusterine stack had I known. So 16.1K for that line. They should get a Nick Suzuki matchup, which isn't great, but honestly, the way Demidov, Slavkovsky, Kapanen are playing, I don't really think I'm that worried about it. So that would be my lean, but what about you?
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have Florida, but I definitely get it. Like, there's a vacuum of minutes going to a certain amount of players in very, very interesting roles. There's a few parts of this that frustrated me last game. But at the end of the day, I don't think I'm going to have it. Like, I do respect Montreal defensively enough at full health. And I do think that like playing an injured Brad Marchand for whatever they're going to play him for is not going to really be all that conducive to playing the best lineup. Like, Florida prices have come way up over time, and some of it's warranted, but I do feel like you're buying you're not getting any value here is basically the problem. Like, even Carter Verhaeghe, who is not in the top power play and is kind of always just like one shift away from being benched, it feels like, is almost 6K. Like, there is no value to hang your hat on. Like, again, Lindell's on the top power play now. It's like, yeah, he's that's a player. I think he's 5K. Like, it's okay, but he's not really shooting a ton. So you're really, you're having to stack him with Reiner. Like, I just don't see anything here that really gets me going. So I'm probably not playing it, but I get what you're saying. And then the other side, I think Montreal's just a good team. Nick Suzuki is a hell of a number one center. Like, he can do everything on both sides of the ice. That second line is just good. It's a good second line in the NHL. Like, the reason they're producing offense is because they're in the offensive zone and they're controlling the puck. And they're like, what are we, why are we trying to find a way to fit in Florida? I'm like, is Philip Deneau a great player? No, but he wins a lot of faceoffs, which helps to, just eliminate opportunity for other teams. Like, he just does the nonsense. So, like, I'm not really interested in stacking against Montreal most nights. And back to back, it's like maybe even magnified a touch more.
Yeah, I may go back to Lusterine and Liddell Reinhardt. That line is just so good together. They're getting Forsling with them, who, not DFS relevant, though he had 5 shots plus blocks last game. So, like, Seth Jones going out, Marchand being banged up, he did get a lick of power play time in there with the second unit. But Ekblad was so bad that I would not be shocked if P2 or Forsling were power play 1 in this game. Like, Ekblad was just horrendous. So something to keep an eye on for sure, but definitely the forwards there I'm interested in. So Montreal side, Texier, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, and Demidov. Bolduc, Deneau, Gallagher, Sammy Blais, Veleno, Owen Beck. Obviously, it's the top 6 here. That's of interest. The top line is 16.3K, and the second line is 14.4K. DJ, choose your fighter.
Can you hear me? Because my microphone keeps cutting out.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know what you just did, but now I can't hear you.
You keep talking. I'm going to try to jump out again. I don't know what's going on.
Cool. So these numbers will obviously update. It's just nuking right now against Calgary. 29 to 21 in shots. They've led pretty much start to finish. Suzuki, Caulfield, Texier, I believe, has 1 trillion shots on goal. I think Texier has a goal, 2 assists, 3 shots. Caulfield a goal, assist, 4. And Suzuki doing the Suzuki things, having 1 assist, nothing else. But so Texier will look much better after this. I do expect he will get secondary power play time as well. So the cat's out of the bag now. But Texier, good play. Shout out to MN Matt, who's atop the 333 with Texier at 2% owned on this slate against Calgary. I mean, just alpha stuff there from the alpha man himself. But I don't think Slavkovsky, Kapanen, and Demidov is dumb either. Kapanen early in the year was just one of my dudes. This line has just taken off lately. So much so to the point where over the last 10 games, again, not including Wednesday night, which this might change a bit, the line is averaging almost 32 expected fantasy points per game for just 14.4K, and they're averaging 32 actual per game for that same price tag. So that's well over 2x. You talk about the top line, and that's 31 and 25 right now. Again, subject to change, but second line has been just as good, and they have the same mix of 2 power play 1 guys and a power play 2 guy. So I do like that. DJ, do I have you back?
Yeah. I just had no idea what was going on. I'm not playing Montreal. You've covered them in thorough detail enough. So I don't have anything really to add. I already said some good praises. I wouldn't think you were an idiot for playing them, but I don't think I'm going to. There's just 12 games, a lot to get to, and spots that I'm just more interested in than Montreal, I think. I don't know if that's going to be Buffalo, but I think Buffalo is at least of note as an option.
Sorry, one more thing. Yeah, Jacob Fowler started for Montreal. Is it Dobesh or Sam Montembeault? Because Dobesh is 7,200.
I thought it was Dobe. Did they say it was Dobesh tomorrow? Why did I think?
Because Montembeault was sent down like last I knew of, so that was like a week or 2 ago.
I actually thought I read somewhere that like they had announced Dobesh tomorrow, but maybe I'm losing my mind.
Okay. In any case, that's a really cheap tag for, especially if you're not terrified of the I don't see anything official, but in any case, I just thought that was interesting. But it could be Montembeault, 7,400, not a huge deal anyway. But $200 is always nice. Let's go to Buffalo at the Rangers. Taking on MSG, it will be Colton Ellis, confirmed starter. Otherwise, no changes expected. Krebs, Thompson, Doan, Zucker, Norris, Tuck, Quinn, McLeod, Benson, Greenway, Osland, Malenstein. No Michael Kesselring, so expecting similar D pair where just the top 4 of Samuelson and Dahlin and Power Byram plays all the time. DJ, the Rangers are without Igor and without Adam Fox. Any interest in the Sabres?
I mean, it's like, that is certainly the reason behind it. Like, the Rangers were not good without Adam Fox. They lose him again long term. Igor going down is just the worst possible news for our what was it called? The Jennings bags.
Oh, it died. That died a week ago, I would say.
Yeah, so not great. The Rangers have already been bad. They will not have JT Miller. Now Lafreniere has the flu. Is questionable. There's just not a lot to like on the Rangers side, and additionally, Buffalo. I mean, it's kind of that double-edged sword of like, man, this team is clicking, but it's clicking. All 3 lines are clicking in different ways, and nobody's shooting. Like, there's not one player on the Sabres where you're sitting here like, oh, like that's the guy that's taking the lion's share of the shot. The only player is Tage Thompson that's doing a bit more than anybody else, but it's priced accordingly. I think at 7,200, you could convince me that he is the play, but I still just don't know if there's enough upside here for me to really want to sink my teeth into it. If I was going to, I think it's just going that way. I just don't. I don't know. Could you convince me to go McLeod and Quinn again? Go back to that? Well, I think and Benson probably that too. Like, I think you could convince me that it's certainly an option, but yeah, I don't know. I overall, it's just probably a no from me on the Sabres. But I think
this is best. Best is one-offs. Tage one-off 7,200. in the picture. McLeod, Quinn, Benson, obviously. We've talked about them a lot here, but Quinn and Benson especially, I think, are interesting. But yeah, I don't think there's much else here to do. Maybe Owen Power. The third pair played 12 and 13 minutes last game of Bryson and Metza. So you're talking Power kept the power play 2 job. Byram lost it to Ryan McLeod with basically with Zucker coming back and rearranging things. So that's, the cheap guy in Owen Power if you want it. But, Samuelson's just as good if you're cheap and they're not, minimum salary. So, yeah, not a ton of interest here.
Yeah.
On the Rangers side.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's like as the Sabres have played better, they've gotten more expensive, but their fantasy-wise, they have not been as explosive. So it's like you're paying premium pricing for a team that's just not winning DFS slates. But yeah, to the Rangers side.
Yeah, Rangers, Panarin, Zibanejad, Will Cooley, Miller, Trocheck, Lafreniere. Lafreniere missed practice today due to illness. Brodzinski was skating in this spot. So it's not confirmed Lafreniere plays, and it's not confirmed that this is the line Lafreniere's on, but I assume it is. So keep that in mind. Panarin, Zibanejad, Miller, Trocheck, Gavrikov was power play 1. Gavrikov is 4K for some reason. Okay. So not much there either. I think this game is pretty much an X out for me.
Yeah.
I have no interest in an 8K Panarin. I know he's been a bit better as of late, but I'm still a little scared without Adam Fox of what Panarin will look like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if there's enough injuries and there's enough changes, like maybe there's a player, like a one-off piece that I'd be interested in, but right now it's not really showing up. Lafreniere's been great, but even if he's battling the flu, it just feels like unnecessary to, we were just paying $1,000 less for this guy. Like maybe we did, if you got there while the iron was hot, you got there. If you didn't, I think you kind of missed out on the value. He's off the top power play, it looks like, which does not help him. It's probably an X out this game for me as well. So there's that.
All right. If you think Mika Zibanejad gets a 5-point night, then hey, have at it.
Over to Toronto.
Toronto and Philadelphia. Toronto comes into town. McMahon, Matthews, Domi, Michelli, Tavares, Nyes, Cowan, Waugh, Robertson, Lorenz, Lawton, Yarncrow. Interestingly, on defense, OEL and Stetcher played by far the most of the 3 pairs against Florida. So Riley, Carlo, Benoit, Myers, and OEL Stetcher. I don't think there's much there from a DFS standpoint, but OEL's been very good this year. 40% better than the league average defenseman, DK point per minute wise. And if he's getting 22 minutes for 2,900, the power play 2 is not great, especially with no William Nylander to sort of shove a good player down onto the second unit. But, it's at least interesting. So any interest from you in Toronto?
Austin Matthews has been otherworldly. He continues to absolutely smash. I think you could go that route. Like him and McMahon just feel like an option on every slate. Troy Stetcher's minimum salary, 24 minutes, but he's killing penalties like as a main penalty killer, and he can definitely move the puck. So I think there's at least blocks, potential there. He hasn't hit a blocks bonus, I think, like since like the early December, but it certainly there's an option that exists for that to happen. He can produce points. He's minimum salary. Like I get why you would click that button, but there's, minimum salary defensemen aren't always my favorite thing to do. I don't have a ton of interest in the second line, even though it's all power play correlated. Like if you're playing Matthew Nyes, like I feel like you're just playing Austin Matthews. Like, and I know they're not correlated at 5-on-5, but they just seem to, click together when things go. Like there was 2 5-on-5 goals that they assisted on each other. I at least one of them, I believe, but both of them got there. I think I just stick to that if I'm gonna do it over Domi, who just feels irrelevant.
Yeah, Philly's been just putting the clamps on everyone.
Pretty good too. Yeah.
So I don't know. Matthews is a singular talent and whatever, but I feel pretty lucky to have gotten away with 13 Cutter Gauthier points the other night because, my God, was Philly just all over Anaheim. Toronto's not done anything to make me think that they're, like truly worth playing on this large of a slate for still very high prices when McDavid's in the picture, McKinnon's in the picture. So I still see Matthews as clearly third here, and I don't think ownership will be so unbelievably distanced between the three that like Matthews is, you're forced to consider him at some point at super low ownership. So I just don't think this is that spot. His line is 16.7K. You could leave off a Max Domi and add on, a Nyes or Riley or something, and it's still 17, 18K. I get that, but again, not something I'm incredibly interested in here. Given the matchup on the Philly side, I'm expecting Bobby Brink to be out, but Michkov should return. So I think they just keep the third line as Cates, Gorbenkin, and then Michkov slotting in for Bobby Brink. So there's that. Konechny, Dvorak, Zegras, Barkey, Couturier, Tippett. Their power play one was Konechny, Dvorak, Zegras with Barkey and Cam York. And then Travis Sanheim won the roulette wheel of power play 2 defensemen for that game. Who knows what the next game will be? Anything from you on the Philadelphia Flyers?
I mean, I'm also really not that like this game isn't like an X out because it's Austin Matthews in it, but I think it's decently close to that. The pricing on Philly 1 is continuing to creep upward, and that just is the line. I mean, that line plays the most minutes by a decent margin. It just has been the line that's shooting the most. It's all correlated on the power play. Like, it just feels very unnecessary to click that button on this slate in this matchup. This game absolutely stinks. So it's as close to a cross off for me as it could be, and more so. I mean, not that like again, like Toronto is just Matthews singular with pieces around it if you have to. Philly, just I don't know. I mean, I'm not doing it, but I don't think you're entirely wrong for considering it as like it's like I feel like I say this a lot, but like sometimes you get different and it's purposeful. Like I think there is upside in Philly 1 that it's not legitimately overpriced, but you are paying more so than you have been for weeks, and it hasn't gotten any better, and the matchup isn't any better. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, Zegras famously not playing against the team that traded him, so he will not be hanging up on any phone calls anytime soon, in my opinion. Let's go to New Jersey at Pittsburgh. New Jersey says, I mean, DJ, you touted us so hard. You loved us so deeply. We're going to careen off of a cliff at 78 miles an hour. God, what a hockey team this is. I mean, just take your victory lap, sir.
To be fair, if you just didn't watch the game at all or look at the final score, the expected goals were 3.8 to 1.8 on HockeyViz. So I will say they won the deserve to win a meter. I bet is favoring the Devils in a 9-0 loss. Every time I thought there couldn't possibly be the case that they got worse in that game, they found a way. I did watch a little bit at one point where I watched two play. Connor Brown missed the most open look in the history of the world, like an impossible to miss opportunity, and then like 3 minutes later on the power play, Nico Hischier has a wide open backdoor tap in. Not even, just waits, doesn't get it on net.
Oh, here we go. We're watching it. We're watching the game play out. Come on, Devils. You got this. You got this, Devils. 69%. Very nice. Very nice. 70, 71. Yep. Oh my God. The Devils win. Yeah. Good Lord.
It just is one of those things. And like, even more like, unbelievable is the bottom gave up almost every goal. Like the top line only gave up 1 goal against.
Well, I mean,
and they gave up 9.
What are you gonna do though against fucking Casey Cizikas?
I just there's so many things that I just sit here and I just I like that game. Like it will never make sense to me. But are you gonna go to it now? Like now you're gonna go back to it? I might. I think I am the only person just crazy enough to try to go back to
this team couldn't score.
No,
they can't score. They're not changing anything. Jack Hughes is still playing injured. He's not even playing center, which again should be a dead giveaway. He's not right. Just don't play New Jersey, and you will be better off for it. Simone Nemec should be back. I have him taking over the top power play because the way they talk about Simone Nemec is, how I imagine someone who's been in the desert for 6 years talks about a gas station. Just like Jesus Christ. They were like, yeah, Simone Nemec, that guy can score. That guy can put the puck in the net. That guy can shoot the puck toward the goalie and it goes in. And they are just fawning over him. Obviously, the last time they scored a goal, I think, was when he was in the lineup. So that makes sense. But he's missed a huge stretch of games. He might be eased back in. We just don't know.
No, we don't.
But he's 3,500 if he has top power play. So just keep an eye out for that.
I know this might sound like stupid to sound, but like the fact that Malkin's back actually like is almost the biggest reason why I'm like maybe I just won't end up clicking on the Devils because at the very least now the Penguins aren't like just complete garbage up and down their lineup other than the top line, but they get away with it anyways. What has to happen in New Jersey? This is one like I feel like we've tried to fix the LA Kings and we were always right about everything and we could have fixed them and Jim Hiller's an idiot. I don't know how to fix this Devils team. Like I think I'm done. And I was like before the year, I'm like, this is one of the best teams in the league. Like I could see them winning the Stanley Cup. What happened?
I mean, you stop playing Luke Hughes
right
with Brett Pesce. You say, hey, let's go get a left-handed defenseman who can actually do something. And you hope that Luke Hughes is better next year. And also, you didn't turn him into Quinn Hughes when all you had to do was give up Dawson Mercer. So congratulations. You really played yourself now. Everyone's getting fired at the end of this year. It's fine.
Okay. Perfect.
And also play Cody Glass more because I like Cody Glass. All right. Let's go to the Pittsburgh side. Raquel, Crosby, Rust, fully power play 1 and line 1 correlated. All been quite good over the last stretch. 21K for the line, 37 expected, 35 actuals. Mantha, Novak, Brazeau, Malkin, Kindle, Chinikov, Dewar, Achari, Lazat. Decor stays the same. Wotherspoon, Carlson, Kulak, Letang, Ryan Shea, Jack St. Ivany. I don't think we've said Jack St. Ivany once on this podcast here, but he's played all year and he's been actually pretty decent from a fantasy standpoint. Doesn't get power play time, so it doesn't really matter, but just wanted to say his name because 1, he has a fun name, and 2, I don't feel like we say it enough.
We definitely don't say it enough. The Penguins are in a decent-ish enough spot. I mean, like, the Devils are giving up touchdowns, it feels like, as of late, and I mean, I'm not going to play the Penguins because I'm an idiot, and I just don't think that this run against the Devils is going to continue, but like it really is kind of the polar opposite result as of late. Like the Penguins have won 5 in a row. They've looked really good. The top line is clicking. It's getting a lot of volume. And it's just continued to like multiple players hitting shots bonuses in like each of their last couple games together. This top line is everything you'd want and more in a matchup that just feels good because of how bad the Devils have been, but I refuse to believe this Devils team is actually this bad. I will not do it, and that will force me not to play the Penguins at I think some level of ownership. Like I think some people will click on it because it's like these prices are warranted, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I mean, I don't think they'll be. I certainly don't think they'll be very popular. I'm looking for odds. Yeah, it's basically a pick 'em 6.5. So
yeah,
if you're talking a 3.2 team total on this slate with these prices, I honestly don't think it gets that high.
Yeah. No, but like, yeah, I don't know. You're probably right. The Devils definitely won't get much ownership. So this game on paper seems like a decent game to play. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a check-in on you before lock tomorrow, just to make sure you're feeling okay.
I truly think that like I'd rather play the Devils than the Penguins, and that is concerning behavior. Let's please move on before I mean, are there any other notes on this iteration of the Penguins?
Malkin, Kindle are 9.3K combined. Like Chinikov is the same guy, it's just not getting a role here, so I'm not interested. And obviously Novak, Brazeau, Mantha loses a lot with Malkin back, just time on ice, offensive role-wise. And the top line is very expensive. So, I'm not super thrilled by that prospect. Islanders at Nashville. let's see if they change anything. Lee, Barzell, Heineman, Druin, Pajot, Holmstrom, Gatcombe, Richie, Shabanov, Duclair, Zizekas, Kyle McLean, Cole McWard was in the lineup, the only bum on the blue line to not get a point in their 9-0 rout. And we did not see a power play. Yes, they did 9 goals of damage worth without getting a single power play. We assume Barzell, Heineman, Drew, and Schaefer are locks on the top unit. We do not know who the 5th guy is. My guess is it's either Duclair or Cal Ritchie. Given Duclair's hat trick last game, I'm giving him the edge now. But yeah, we don't know. So fun times. Any interest in the Islanders?
Did
Stuck
you
up on
sneeze?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I muted myself just in time, but I
Wow.
sounded like
I was gonna say you looked
having
like
an
you
aneurysm.
looked and sounded like you were about to sneeze, and then nothing came out, and then you came back sounding like you sneezed. So very impressive work from you.
Thank you.
The magic of it. I mean, the real answer to this question is really only no, because there's no Bo Horvat. I mean, he's really expensive even if he was playing, which I believe the answer is like not completely ruled out, but I would
He'll
tend to believe
return
him.
later in the road trip, they said. So it
Yeah,
sounds like he's ruled out for this one.
I'd be very, very surprised was maybe the next words out of my mouth. Yeah, it's a no from me, but I get Matt Barzal, and I get playing Heineman with Barzal. Like that's the only option here, in my estimation. Like Matthew Schaefer is, it's a click that you could probably convince yourself to make if you're playing those two players, but he is getting very, very, very expensive, and you're really getting quite point dependent. The shots are fine, but they're not 6K good.
The Stoner has weighed in. No for me, dog.
Yeah. I just think that honestly, Nashville's been fine too. Like I kind of like the Nashville side a little bit, but we could get to that in a second. You know, I mean, for everything we just said negative about the Devils, you know how many fucking saves Sorokin had? And all of them came with like there was like 9 minutes left in the third before they just quit on the game. Like the Islanders are giving up shots defensively.
Their entire mantra this season has been playing up tempo, so I certainly buy that. By expected goals pace, this is the second or third game on the slate in that order. Carolina and Anaheim and Calgary, Boston, ironically enough, leading off the slate with the 2 highest numbers. And those 2 also come with the shot attempts, but this one not so much. Yeah, I agree though that the Nashville side, pending, if they change something or if we find out that it's actually Cal Ritchie and Shabanov top power play or something, maybe I'll reconsider. But I think that Nashville would be my preferred side here. They're coming off of a 6-2 loss in Edmonton though, so keep an eye out for changes. They kept Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg together though for most of that last game. Evangelista, Howla, Bunting. For the price, these lines have been pretty solid. We're talking 16.7K for the top line, 32, 33 actual, and 32, 33 expected, and 30 actual. DJ, I am falling apart at the seams here. Please take it away.
I mean, especially if Nashville is 11-7 like they were last game, I don't think that's what you have here on the screen, and maybe they're going to get away from it. That even makes it more interesting, but I really do like this spot. The Islanders have been largely goalie driven. I think that one thing that gets a little bit lost in the shuffle is just how good Sorokin has been. When he's been in, like he's been really quite game changing. But with that being said, every goalie can the regression monster can come and just eat them alive. And the prices on Nashville are cheap, all things considered. Like I think you're getting quite a bit of upside through Stamkos and Forsberg. Yossi is an option at 6,200, but an option that's a bit too expensive. Like I think you just play Forsberg, Stamkos, move on. And I really like that many as an option. I'd almost even be willing to say you could play Evangelista alongside the whole thing. I mean, the role for him has been just very, very, very big, and I feel like he will be out there with them at 5-on-5. He will certainly be a factor on the power play. I could see clicking that button at 4,200 and saying like Nashville wins the slate, like Evangelista is getting 2 points, and you know if you get 14 from him, I think that
Nashville
could work.
Nashville has not played a home game since December 21st.
Broad Street is ready. Is it Broadway? Broadway,
yeah.
not Broad Street. That's the Flyers.
Yeah, so there's that. Just a little interesting wrinkle there. Nashville's been very good, but that's all been on the road too, which is even more impressive. Actually, have they been very good? I don't actually. Well, let's fact check that for a moment here. But the Nashville side, I do like a lot. Yeah, so let's see. They went on the road and they basically won 4 of 7. So great job by them. They really did it this time. Stamkos, again, everything's great, all great and good in the land of Steven Stamkos. Ryan O'Reilly's somehow been effective, not just from a result standpoint, but also from the underlying process, which again, from a fantasy standpoint, is brand new for Ryan O'Reilly. So if they keep scoring, he should be involved in the playmaking at the very least. So I don't mind even replacing Forsberg with Evangelista. Like, yeah, it's not perfect because if they do switch up the lines, it's probably O'Reilly, Forsberg, Evangelista, and Stamkos with Bunting and Howla. But you save 2,500, and that could help you, play a McDavid or a McKinnon if you want. And so therefore, I don't feel too bad about suggesting that. Forsberg's just not got the same juice, and Stamkos is the goal scorer here. So it's a little bit like he's a bit lost, which was my prediction from the very beginning. And then the entire team went on hiatus for a year and a half. So actually, Forsberg, I guess, was pretty good last year. In any case, let's move forward because I do like Nashville power play 1 stuff, not so much anything else in the lineup.
Yep. Makes perfect sense. We get to a game that should take very, very little time. Are you playing Connor McDavid or not? Like if you play Edmonton, if you go out there and you think, you know what, fuck it, dog, I'm playing Edmonton, but I'm not playing Connor McDavid. Like you really need to call the number. Like that is the dumbest. Like don't play Edmonton or you're playing McDavid. Okay. Next.
Yeah, McDavid is just on a fucking bender at the moment. Winnipeg has been powerless to stop much of anyone lately. They've not been terrible.
They're almost won a game.
They did almost win a game. They've been getting some shit luck. But it's also not been great underlying process either. And do you know who likes to capitalize on blue lines that consist of bottom pair of Colin Miller and Luke Schenn? I think Connor McDavid would like to. Does he see mostly?
Oh,
well, yeah. Does he see mostly the top line? Sure, but does Scheifele, Connor, Alec Diafalo scare you defensively? I don't think so. So just who gives a shit? Play Connor McDavid. He's undeniable. Let me just repeat this. 10.3K. He has 24 expected fantasy points per game over the last 10 and 24.5 actual. Like this is the most sustainable run of brilliance we've ever seen. I do not think we've seen a number this high from anyone over any stretch of games, let alone, 10, 15, 20 game sample sizes like McDavid's currently ongoing. It's just ridiculous every single night. I mean, let's just play this game. A month ago. So, okay, a month and 3 days ago, fun endpoints. 50, 22, 30, 30, 28, 11, 43, 20, 21, 33, 40, 25, 7, 23, 26, 50. What are we doing? This should not be legal. Just stop him. But no one's going to stop him. They can't. I rest my case. Winnipeg. Connor, Scheifele, Iafallo, Perfetti, Taves, Velarde, Barron, Lowry, Niederreiter, Pearson, Nemestikov, Nyquist. Do they change this? I don't know. I think it's Colin Miller drawing in. I honestly don't recall their other idiot defenseman who they normally bring in the lineup. Oh, it's Logan Stanley. How did I forget Logan Stanley? That's definitely who's playing here.
Yeah.
Unless he's hurt. I don't know.
He's big, so he'll play if he's.
Oh, he's very big.
He's day to day, but I think it's possible he could be back.
Okay.
Oh, he got suspended for a game.
Oh, okay, that's right.
That's right. I couldn't remember either. I was like, why did that feel? Yeah, no, this is It's rough sledding over in Winnipeg, and like I would love to get on this podcast and be like, you know what, screw it. I'd love to play some Shifley and Kyle Connor in this matchup. Like, and they've been fine, I guess, but it's just way too expensive to actually click against Edmonton, who is just rolling, and like they're going to be out there against McDavid. That is just what's happening. So like, it's just an absolute no for me. Never mind. Like,
the absolute dream for me is a second line of Nemestikov, Nyquist, and Perfetti. Then I can play one or two of those guys with McDavid and feel pretty good about it. Otherwise, like you're saying, it's too expensive. You can't fit them in with Edmonton, and like, why are you stacking Winnipeg without
exactly
McDavid?
I mean that is really the answer to the riddle. So it's a massive no for me, unfortunately. It's a sad day when I'm just like, yeah, I just rather play Nashville, and I like, yep, not even crazy. Tough break, but we move to another tough click, and that is the Ottawa Senators on a back-to-back against the buzzsaw that is in Colorado. That buzzsaw did, fold to the other buzzsaw in the East, Tampa, and really back-to-back losses. I don't think they've lost 2 games in a row this season. It truly might be the first time that they've lost 2 games in a row, and definitely in regulation. But I think both of them were both of them in regulation. Yeah, I'm almost positive.
The weekend was, and yesterday was, So
yeah. So it's been the worst stretch of games from them by far, and they're still really good. It just, eventually sometimes you run into a couple of decent teams that get the best of you. I'm not that concerned. Losing Landeskog, I think it was actually pretty impactful to the team in general. Like, it gives other players opportunity. Is the other side of the coin there. We saw it was Olofsson, then it was Brindley. It was Brindley that was on that second line for them. But actually, let's start with Ottawa. Ottawa's down 2-1 to Utah right now, and they seem to change their lines every night. But yeah, Stützle, Cousins, Batherson was all correlated. Power play 1, line 2. Brady with Pinto and Zetterlund. I mean, they're just trying things. They just keep losing. I mean, if you click on Ottawa tomorrow, I actually would call you an idiot. Like, this is worse than clicking the Devils, in my opinion.
It's very expensive, which is the main problem.
Yeah, like,
there's really no rationalizing it. I think you read them, but Brady, Pinto, Zetterlund, Stützle, Cousins, Batherson. Giroux, Greg, Amadio will play a lot. They're less than 10K. 18 expected, 21
Buffalo
actual.
3 instead. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So I think that's right. They do have a $6,900 goalie named Mads Sogard. So shout out to him. Linus Ullmark not with the team at the moment. So even more ammo for you, Colorado. Just insane people. Let's get to Colorado. They move Lehkonen up to the top line. McKinnon, Nachos, Lehkonen. Brindley to line 2. Nelson, Nichushkin, Brindley. And then Colton, Jury, Olofsson. Taylor McCarr, Parker Kelly, and Bardakov. Line 4.
Taylor McCarr got sent down.
Great. So
I don't know what
Joel Kiviranta, come on down.
Sure.
Brock Nelson, I think, is the best click here. 5,600. You get a 2,500 Brindley alongside him if you want a cheap line. 13.5K for the full line stack. Brindley's not been very good, but also he's not been playing in the top 6. So, I don't know. He's fine. But Lehkonen, McKinnon, Nachos is 21K, which is basically the same as Pittsburgh one, which is why I don't think people will be clicking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, DJ, thoughts on Colorado here?
I mean, it's a good spot in the sense that Ottawa gives up a lot of efficient opportunities for goal scoring, and Colorado certainly has the guys that can put that number up for you. And I just don't think it's going to be incredibly popular because Ottawa has, as I'm kind of alluding to, they've limited volume at 5-on-5. They've been really bad on the penalty kill and give up more goals than expected because I think in part their goaltending is really bad. They're talking about Mad Sogard in net like that and Miralainen. Like, these are not good NHL goalies that are. I mean, they're below. Probably nearly like they're the league worst. Like, is that all of them? No, because I do think that in addition, that some of these
Yeah, I
Ottawa
mean,
defensemen are giving up a lot of very high, opportunities. So like you are trying to kind of thread the needle, and for that reason, like I think you do stack it through the power play, however you want to stack it. I think it just has to be with McKinnon in general and probably an Achos, but I have no problem throwing in a third piece, and it's probably not Makar only because of how expensive he is. But I could, if you said it's Nelson or Nichushkin, I'd say you're right.
yeah, and the thing with, I mean, we could talk forever about Ottawa, but it's not like these are the only two goalies that have been terrible in Ottawa.
Yeah,
And like, yeah, maybe it's just a string of bad luck, but we've seen Gustafsson move on to Minnesota and become, insane. And that's several years now at this point, and it's just been a steady flow of dudes who are productive coming in and doing nothing in front of Thomas Chabot and company. And so, yeah, at some point, it's like, is there something more sinister going on here? So, yeah, I don't know. Again, Nelson Nichushkin would be my lean. Like, I'm playing McDavid over McKinnon every single time. But I get it. That's my bit here.
And I guess the only other last little thing, like Taves out for a little while, it sounds like. Malinsky did get 18 minutes last game and had 3 shots, 2 blocks. Like that could be the $2,900 punt that no one on this podcast would ever suggest because we're gonna play it. So don't play it. Don't dupe me, bro.
Yeah. Brent Burns played 18 minutes
and power play too, and penalty kill. So like, I mentioned it last show. Like he seems like an option as well, and went out there and did the things that you'd want him to do, but they're kind of spreading the wealth more than they normally do. And like McCarr didn't see way more minutes because of all this. Like, but Kale McCarr is still Kale McCarr. 7,700 is just tough to click, but he's not the most expensive defenseman on the slate.
Oh, let's see. Well, let's get first to Minnesota at Seattle, unless the defenseman's on Seattle, in which case, shut up, it's done.
Unfortunately, no. We have not gotten to the most expensive defenseman on the slate.
Wow. I don't know what Minnesota's going to do. I did not see any practice. Lines, they were without Johansson and Brodin in practice, but both are seemingly okay. So Kaprizov, Zuccarello should be together, whether it's Yurov, Hartman, Eriksson Ek, I don't know, but TBD. Boldy, Eriksson Ek, Johansson, I suspect they'll stay together. I would be surprised if they moved to Matt Boldy basically anchoring his own line, but we'll see. Because, by the way, they finished last game, Kaprizov with Eriksson Ek, so that's why I say that. Tarasenko, Hartman, Hinostroza, Foligno, Sturm, Yakov, Trenin. Quinn in favor, play a ton. They're very expensive, but they've been good. You can play either one of them if you stack Minnesota. Because, yes, I know Brock Faber, blah, 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 but, like, he's actually shooting now. And turns out you'll get points playing with Quinn Hughes instead of Jonas Brodin or Jacob Middleton that you weren't getting otherwise. So I don't hate either of those guys.
I'm just gonna really quickly stop you and just ask you, what do you think Philip Grubauer's save percentage is right now on the season?
He's been awesome. I'm gonna guess he's 922.
926.
Yeah.
926
every night.
And like every night. And Decord, I mean, he's a 901, but like really, really strong as of late. Like I think there was some injury kind of stuff that felt like at one point that may have derailed him a bit, but like they are goalieing their way to a lot of this. I think I mentioned it last show. Like, hey,
Team
like
Germany at the Olympics. They're interesting. Yeah. They are interesting. I gotta say that.
Yeah. Seattle's won what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What 7 of their last 8? Again, a lot of it goalie driven, a lot of them being able to keep teams off of beating them, and keeping DFS winners off of the slate is goaltender driven. Like that is a reason I often click on my stacks against, like thinking that could pop at any moment is right there. And Minnesota is a perfect example of a team that the concentration of minutes for the offensive roles are really, really high between Boldy and Kaprizov, and like the pieces around them aren't that expensive and easy to put in. I think you could play both of them together and add maybe even just one more piece, even if it's just Quinn Hughes. Like that makes perfect sense to me. It's one of my more favorite stacks on the slate, but it is really, really expensive, and it's definitely going to keep you from clicking the McDavid button,
Yeah.
which is something I am trying to do.
Yeah, Seattle right now, they're the sort of team where I think if I'm stacking against them, I want one of their cheap guys,
Yeah.
which everyone's cheap, by the way. I'm not just
Right.
saying, oh, Berkeley Catton scored twice last game, but like Jared McCann is 5K. I don't expect Ilya Tolvanen to play, but keep an eye out. He was sick, so he could return, and maybe they keep power play one Tolvanen going. But Jordan Eberle, 4,500. Like you can play one-offs here that makes sense. Riker Evans, 2,700. Still no Brandon Montour, I believe. So all these guys I think are reasonable, and they could create the sort of game environment. Obviously, Freddie Gaudreau, too, alongside Stevenson. He got power play 2-time with no Tolvanen in. So direct beneficiary there. Just they're an interesting team. They're pesky. Yes, it's goaltender driven, but Berkeley Catton looked awesome last game. He's looked really good to my eye for the last like 3 weeks or so. And I've not watched every Seattle game or whatever, but because he was gonna go play at the World Juniors, and they were like, no, and we were like, well, why? Like you don't play him, and then they were like, what if we played him? And so he scored his first goal, believe it or not.
And then second, yeah. I mean, he's he's 5-on-5 with their best offensive player in Jared McCann, and like one of the more creative players in Shane Wright, or just all around ability players. They have the most. I think another thing about this team that just pisses me off to no end is like they just love playing like fucking Ryan Lindgren and Adam Larson as much as possible, and Jamie Alexiak, and not Riker Evans. But Riker Evans is power play too. He's 2,700. I just think there's better punts on the slate that hurts.
Yeah.
The ability to click on him. We've already mentioned a couple. Sam Belinsky. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's someone here that you're like, that's where I push the chips in on, but I can definitely see it being the Berkeley Cat and Shane Wrights of the world.
Just if you like Minnesota, you need some value. Why not get it from the other side? Is sort of my thought. Let's get to Columbus, Vegas. Columbus without Marchant for the upcoming future. Apparently he's week to week, so tough news there. Voronkov, Antilli, Marchenko, Jenner, Monahan, Johnson, Sillinger, Coyle, Olivier, Aston Reese, Gons, Heinen. Fully correlated line 1, line 2 with their power play units. Voronkov, Fantilli, Marchenko, Coyle, Orensky was power play 1 in San Jose. The huge wrinkle here, though, is they got shit canned by Macklin, Celebrini, and friends. Like, they did not get goalied in a 5-2 loss. They just got flat out played by a team that doesn't outplay anyone. So could they change everything? Certainly. Any interest in Columbus here? Any players you're keeping an eye on if the lineup does rearrange itself?
No. I mean, the biggest problem is...
I will show the rainbow, by the way. Yeah. They look pretty good, and Vegas is even giving it up defensively in the actual goals department. Yeah. So I just wanted to provide that context.
I just think over the last 10, you're excluding a lot of when Jack Eichel's been back in the lineup. He's only been back for 3 of those games, and I just think that, like, he's coming back into full form. I think it's also... D-Gen Stoner, we just said Marchment is out week to week, so it is not Marchment prop day. I think I'm just willing to bet on the long-term Vegas being a very, very, very good defensive team when they're at full health, and they're not at full health, but I think it's close enough that I'm, willing to think it's a bit of a mirage. No Theodore, no McNabb is something. For sure, like that is a worse defensive team, but not enough for me to want to click the buttons on Columbus. And the biggest problem is like clicking on Columbus and not clicking on 9 fucking K Werenski. It just like, but then again, like, how do you click that? Like 9K is so expensive. We talked about just how good he's been. He, even in a game that they got shit canned, like you said, he still had 12.8, which wasn't enough at that price tag, but like he just gets double-digit points every single night. If you're clicking Columbus, like, how do you not do it? They're not that expensive, so probably he's coming on for the ride. Like, it's very obvious where you'd go with Columbus, like Fantilli, Voronkov, Marchenko. and Morensky, but it's way too expensive, and I just don't think this matchup
Yeah.
is as good as the sheet's alluding to.
All right. I'm not necessarily opposed to that idea, but let's just get to the Vegas side because I do think Columbus is going to offer us some nonsense, and
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about things when I expect there to be nonsense afoot. So Vegas, I think, is going to use their nuclear option lines they went to last game. I don't know. We'll see. Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Howden, Hurdle, Kolasar, Saad, Marner, Riley Smith, Dorofeyev, Sissons, Bowman. They broke like a 16 losing streak with their overtime win in Winnipeg.
Yep.
So again, I think they roll with this. It's all entirely unplayable except for Eichel Stone, in my opinion. And Barbashev is cheap enough at 3,500 where he can play. You know, he can hit at this price.
Yeah, no, I mean it's Eichel Stone for me, and like 6,300 Mark Stone after scoring like 6 in a row, or six goals in his last 6 games, or whatever it is like the dumbest nonsense ever. But like Eichel one off even is so in play.
I mean, honestly though, Mark Stone, like you're getting 12 points a night from him. Like, is that enough for 6,300 to win a tournament?
No.
Like the answer is no. So it's like, I don't know. Is he going to do anything else?
No, it's Eichel one off for me. I actually really like that option quite a bit. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Noah Hannafin is also like with these defensemen being out playing a lot. And I know last game is a bit of an anomaly as Megna got hurt during the game very early on. So yeah, Bowman has been banished to the well, he only played 5 minutes. I guess I don't know if he got hurt.
I assume he got benched because he sucks and he's Jacob Megna, but
well, he was a -2 in 5 minutes, so that doesn't help his cause very much.
Yeah.
I will say maybe he just got benched. But Noah Hannafin has played 31 minutes last game. Like it's 5K. He's not power play 1. It's not that comfortable of a click, but I am fine with Eichel Hannafin. If you're gonna play that many minutes, like there's double bonus upside in his game. So that's what I'm looking at. I really actually like it a lot. Like I think you could play McDavid and Eichel in a lineup and make it work. And that's sort of the building blocks that I'm going to start with. And then from there, look at that Nashville we talked about, look at maybe a couple other mini stacks that we mentioned earlier. And like, I think you could put together a really good lineup that kind of starts with there. Whereas the Bowman's on the 4th line. And
if Bowman gets sent to the AHL tomorrow, I might play Vegas. Otherwise, I have absolutely no interest. This team is dog shit.
You know who was out on the ice for 3 goals against at 5-on-5? All 3?
Jack Eichel.
Brandon Bowman.
Oh, shocker.
And like,
can't believe the dude who sucks.
Yeah. So Matt, always right, never wrong, and always rewarded financially for it.
Of course, yes.
So why don't
I'm gonna let my accountant know that actually. Maybe I should prepare to pay some taxes this year.
Moods too rich accountant having man. So yeah, last slate.
I do not have
Matt,
an accountant. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I could be rich as fuck and still not have an accountant. Fuck that.
Congratulations to you and you alone. Last slate, Matt, your guaranteed goals smashed. Your stacks, not so much.
I had New Jersey. Boston and Florida is what I wanted to play. Yeah.
Yep. And I had New Jersey, which I didn't end up playing, thank God. And that definitely didn't work. And Toronto, which like half worked. So let's be better this time. I will let you go first on the stacks because I feel like you're gonna get crazy.
Am I gonna get crazy? Let's have some fun. I'm gonna go Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg. Sorry, not Forsberg. Evangelista.
All right, Nashville. I don't fucking know what that is. Nashville.
Nashville power play stack. There you go. I solved that for you. They're playing the Islanders. You made the case that actually the Devils should have scored if they had anyone who could score. And Nashville has guys who can score. I think. I hope. I pray. They're at home for the first time in 6 months.
The home in the first time in 6 months narrative is really what it's all about.
Yep.
I feel like I have so many like 2-man stacks that I love, and there's not many like big ones, but I do think if you're like giga stacking, it's Minnesota. So I'm going to say Kaprizov, Boldly, Zuccarello. very price prohibitive, and that's going to keep you away from the McDavids of the world. But that, like, I probably have a couple lineups tomorrow, and one of them is going to be like, like I think. But again, I think you just play both Kaprizov and Boldly. Like Matt Boldy, there's a reason this guy has 26 goals this season. And Kaprizov is often a part of that, and both of them are shooting just more than almost anyone else on the slate. So, like, if Seattle springs a leak, I like the idea of playing a little bit the other way. That seems like a really interesting option tomorrow.
All right. We're going to do the unthinkable.
Don't do it.
We're going to stack against Carolina. Leo has been banished to the Shadow Realm. Michael Gramland is horrific. You're playing Cutter Gauthier, Mason McTavish, Pavel Minchikov. You can play Seneca if you want. I think he's definitely the third wheel here. But Cutter and Mason, they cost you 12.5K, and they have 26 expected fantasy points per game over the last 10. This team cannot buy a break right now, but it's not these two guys' fault. Minchikov is actually okay at 3,300. I think he's one of the better punt D-men that we have. 8.5 expected last 10 games, 7.7 actual. And yeah, you're mixing and matching across power play units as currently constructed, but hey, we've lost money chasing Anaheim Ducks before, but we've also made money multiple months ago now at this point. And if Carolina does not welcome back Jacob Slavin, I think that this game is one that you're going to want to target both sides of.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every single game that I like and every spot that I like is expensive, and I just went over like a very, very, very expensive stack. So I'm going to go cheaper, but not. No, that doesn't work, actually. It's not that cheap. I really wanted to find a cheaper stack that I liked and a game that I thought was good. Just nothing comes out. I think Nashville's the option that you already took. So, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Colorado 2, whatever it ends up being, and McKinnon probably, but especially if it's Olofsson instead of Brindley, which I think there's a hint that could be the case. I think I just go that route and hope that they just get really, really efficient out of the second line against a back-to-back Ottawa team. So give me Colorado 2, and like I probably throw in McKinnon in there, but it is what it is.
The Donkeys will be heeing and hawing with Nate McKinnon against a back-to-back Ottawa team as Colorado scores 7 goals on 22 shots.
That's exactly what you're building for. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. McKinnon, goal, assist, 11 shots. Brock Nelson, a goal, 4 assists, 1 shot. I can see it already. I can see the future. Are you ready to guarantee some goals?
Never been more ready for anything in my entire life. Are you betting 2 Devils or 3 Devils?
Oh, 0, as a matter of fact.
Wow, he is a gutless coward, folks, and I knew it all along. I mean, you're the man of the hour. You were 2 for 2 last show.
What were my 2 last time? Or did you already delete them?
DeBrusk and
spicy.
Zegras.
So, God, I'm never topping that, am I? Okay.
Quit while you're behind.
Shit. Cole Perfetti, 3,200.
Where am I life? I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I was about to run into. No, it's not even really.
Okay.
I know what I want to pick, but I'm pretty sure it's going to put me in a spot that's just almost undoable for price. So while I try to think if this is even possible for me to pull off, do you have a second guy?
Yeah, I'm just going to take Sam Reinhart, 7,800. So I'm not going to mention the other guy in case you want to go back to one of your cover boys.
It's not who I wanted to go to. Not a bad idea either. I definitely really like that idea. Can I buy 100 for somebody good? Riveting stuff. Riveting. All right, I'm gonna do. I don't care. It's a couple hundred more. I'm gonna do JVR and Jack Eichel.
All right, I will allow that.
Yeah, and then you had, sorry, I didn't zone out entirely, but it was Reinhardt and
Perfetti.
That's right. Okay, so Rhino, Perfetti, JVR, Eichel. Eichel's been really unlucky on top of the fact that the shot attempts 7.67 in the past 3 games being back, and you might be saying, okay, pretty good spread. Well, how many of them do you think came against Winnipeg in this 27-minute affair?
He played 27 minutes.
Nah, I'm a little bit high on that.
Okay.
He played 26. My bad. 25. My bad. I my apologies in advance to everybody out there who was cheated and lied to.
I'm gonna guess 11 of them were in that game.
11 exactly.
Perfect. Maybe I saw that somewhere. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, 11 attempts, 3 on net. Definitely gonna be a guy I'm looking at for shots tomorrow. And who is on his line now? It's Mark Stone. And yes, Mark Stone is the one finishing, but Mark Stone is not a prolific rate shooter. He is a prolific guy that helps other players be prolific rate shooters. So I really like Eichel tomorrow. If that hasn't already been known. And I like to bring it too, but I feel like JVR is a pretty nice little value for a goal in a really good matchup in a 6.5 against a bad team. So right. I like this. We made it in under an hour. Perfect. We nailed it.
If you listen on 2x, that is technically true.
If you combine the amount of minutes that Hannafin and Eichel played last game, it's about how long the podcast was. And not at all. And then double it. But yeah, I mean, not really, but they played 25 and 31 minutes last game. So it's not as far off as you think.
It was 26 a minute ago, so I don't know what to believe.
Only 26. Yeah, 26, and then Hannafin played almost 31.
That's impressive. All right. I am going to go. I got to see how I feel on Thursday night tonight while you're listening to this. But I was planning to do a 3-game write-up over on the newsletter, moods@bf.com. But, I'm feeling like I got hit by a truck. So we'll see. And also game time decision for Saturday. But it's much easier to do a mid-afternoon stream on a Saturday than it is to stay up late into the night on a Friday 3-gamer. So TBD, but thank you to everyone for tuning in and for listening and subscribing and doing whatever stuff you do. DJ, anything you want to say?
No, not really. Just go Sabres as always. And we are like a month away from, I believe, the opening face-off of the Olympics. It's February something early-ish like that. So looking forward to it. I'm already got a couple texts from a couple of friends that are like, hey, like, you thinking Olympic bets? And I'm like, am I thinking Olympic bets? Of course I am. So get ready. If you're watching on the show, I got the USA Olympic hat on right now. So let's go.
Starts on the 11th.
11th. I was somewhere around there. Yeah, and get to Carl Hardy's Jr. if there's one in the area. That's all I got.
Perfect. Alrighty. Thank you all for tuning in. That'll do it from us. From Doug, from DJ, from myself. Have a good Thursday, everybody, and we will see ya.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.